Everyone loves a good party during the holidays, but it's important to be extra safe and make good choices. Shawn Brown with the law office of Shawn C. Brown is here to share his tips on what to do if you find yourself in legal trouble during the holidays. Nobody wants to be in that situation. You and I were talking during the break. There are so many options.
There are.
You know, if you're having a drink, do not get behind the wheel.
Yeah, be responsible. The holidays are for good times, but it's important to be responsible. We have options. We have Uber, taxis, friends, or whatever the case may be that may not have been available to us, 20 years ago.
Yeah, there's no excuse at this point,
right?
To get behind the wheel after you've had any alcohol at all. If you do find yourself in that position, though, or a loved one, what do you do? Walk us through the steps, what we should and should not be doing if someone gets pulled over.
Sure. So, there's a lot of office parties right now, Christmas parties and so forth. You go, you have a glass of wine, you're being responsible. You get pulled over for maybe speeding. Officer comes to the car, he smells alcohol. At this point in time, they're going to act on the side of caution. They're going to get you out of the car and start doing field sobriety tests, or try to. You have rights when you are pulled over, and some of those rights are you have a right to refuse.
A lot of people don't realize that, do they?
They don't. They think, oh, I'm being pulled over and I have to get out and do the field sobriety test.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Or do the breath test, and you have rights. You have the right to refuse that stuff. Now, you always want to be responsible and respectful of the officer when going through this interview process with them, but you absolutely have the right to refuse.
And then if you refuse, what happens at that point?
I mean, at the time they ask you to get out of the car and start doing the field sobriety test, they've pretty much made up their mind they're going to arrest you.
Right.
And so they're probably going to place handcuffs on you and say, well, based on the smell of alcohol, or you admitted to having a glass of wine, or whatever the case may be, we're going to arrest you for suspicion of DWI. Okay. And then at that point in time, they're going to read you some warnings and then talk to you about potentially doing a breath test.
Okay.
And again, you have the right to
refuse.
That's right. And people think, well, my license is automatically going to be suspended if I refuse the breath test. That's not necessarily the case.
Okay.
Whether you do the breath test or don't do the breath test, your license can still be suspended, but the difference in time is what the difference would be.
That was my next question then, when it comes with the time and your license being suspended. You want people to know that they only have 15 days to request a hearing after being served a notice of your license being suspended, right?
15 days from the date of arrest.
Okay.
So we get arrested today, you basically got 15 days from today to have yourself or a lawyer request a hearing to try to keep your license from being suspended automatically.
Okay. They obviously need to call you immediately if they find themselves in this situation.
That's correct. We need to start gathering reports, body cams, police reports, anything that we can to start building our case to find out, maybe the officer was acting on the side of caution on this particular night, and this person wasn't intoxicated under the laws of the state of Texas. As we know here in Texas, it's not drink, drive, go to jail, which we see on all these billboards and so forth. You can have a drink and not be in violation of the law in the state of Texas.
I think the moral of the story here is to call Shawn and to have his number dialed into your phone. So if you or someone you love is ever in a situation and you need a wonderful attorney immediately, that's what you do. You call him. The law office of Shawn C. Brown. They're here in San Antonio. The number 210-224-8200. You can also go to ShawnBrownLaw.com.